Ah, my children, come close and let me tell you a story, not just any story, but one soaked in sorrow, drenched in mystery, and whispered by the spirits of our land. Long ago, in a remote village nestled among the red earth hills of southeastern Nigeria, a group of young NYSC Corps members were posted to serve their one-year duty. The villagers, humble and kind, welcomed them with open arms and shared their homes, food and laughter. These young men and women were full of life, laughing, dancing, teaching at the local school and walking the village paths barefoot, like true sons and daughters of the soil. But as the elders say, when the rat laughs at the cat, its hole is nearby. Greed, my child, wears many faces. And in this story it wore the face of a corper named Uche. The days turned to weeks, and the weeks to months. The Corps members grew curious about the ancient customs of the village. One sunny afternoon, as they strolled down the dusty red path lined with palm trees and ogirisi leaves, they stopped in front of the king's palace. The gate stood tall, carved with sacred symbols. At its heart stood a glass case. Within it, a golden crown that shimmered like sunlight on water. "That's real gold," he whispered, his voice thick with greed. "Don't even think about it. I've heard the stories. The crown is protected by spirits. They say anyone who dares steal it never survives." Charms, spirits? You believe those old wives' tales? That crown is our ticket to wealth. Some of the other Corps members exchanged uneasy glances. Fear prickled their skin, but temptation is a sly spirit. Uche had already made up his mind. "When I'm rich in the city, don't come begging me for anything." The weeks passed. Their service was drawing to a close. On the eve of their departure, as the village fell into the silence of night, Uche crept out, 2 other greedy Corps members by his side. The moon watched quietly from the heavens as they slipped into the palace grounds. The crown sat still, gleaming, beautiful, deadly. "It's even brighter up close. Grab it," Uche urged, wrapping it in a black nylon bag. They returned before dawn, hearts racing, breaths heavy. Kelechi saw the bag. "You didn't, I did, and I'm not returning it. You've made a terrible mistake. You don't know this land or what you've awakened." Morning came. The sky was clear, the sun smiling down. The Corps members boarded their chartered bus, laughter and farewells filling the air. The villagers waved as the bus rolled away. Kelechi prayed quietly. A few others joined her. Uche sat at the back, the bag tucked beneath his seat. The crown was silent, but its energy pulsed like a hidden heart. The bus rumbled down the bumpy road. Suddenly it halted. The engine groaned. The driver cursed under his breath. Hours passed in the scorching heat. Then finally the bus roared to life again. Relief washed over them until a loud pop shattered the peace. A burst tire. The driver swore again, but that wasn't the end. As the journey continued, the air grew colder. The wind began to whisper, words no one could understand. Then the brakes failed. "Hold on!" Screams filled the bus as it veered off the road and plunged into a deep ditch. Metal screamed, dust rose, bodies flew. When the dust settled, 3 Corps members lay still, lifeless. Others groaned, wounded and broken. But Uche had vanished. He had fled. Bag in hand, heart pounding, the crown pulsed. It knew what had happened, and so did the spirits. Hours later, Uche boarded another bus heading to his city. He sat silently, gripping the bag. Sweat clung to his skin. His eyes darted nervously. Halfway through the journey, the new bus shook violently. Another brake failure, another near crash. But Uche made it home. His little brother Emeka ran to welcome him. "Brother Uche," the boy chirped, full of joy. "Go and play," he said, rushing inside to hide the crown. That night, sorrow visited. Emeka slipped in the bathroom. His head struck a wooden shelf. By the time they found him, he was gone. Tears flooded the house. Then strange things began to happen. Cries in the wind, whispers in the shadows, a coldness in the air. The next blow came swift. Uche's father collapsed. A strong man, now paralyzed by a mysterious illness. A prophet was summoned. He stepped into the house, eyes sharp, voice low. "Someone has taken what does not belong to them. Until it is returned, this family will know no peace." The family trembled. I didn't take anything, but the spirits do not sleep. That night, Uche unwrapped the crown. "Tomorrow I'll sell it. I'll fix everything." The next morning he stepped out with the crown hidden again, but the spirits were waiting. As he walked to the market, a shadow darted past. Then he saw him, Emeka, but not the boy he knew. This Emeka's eyes were hollow. "Return the crown, brother," the ghost whispered. Masquerades appeared. Their tall, colorful bodies towered. Whips cracked through the air. "Thief!" They flogged him, but to the people he looked mad, screaming at air, thrashing on the ground. "I stole the crown," he cried in the market. Shame descended like smoke. He staggered to the prophet's home. "Help me," he begged. The prophet prepared a ritual. Smoke filled the air. The masquerades vanished. "You have 3 days, return the crown, or the curse will finish what it started." Uche began the walk of shame. 3 days, 3 painful days. Each step the crown grew heavier. Each hour the spirits whipped him. Silent to others, loud to him. By the 3rd day his legs barely held him. His body trembled, his back bled. But finally, the village gates appeared. He staggered in. The villagers had been waiting. The king stood tall, flanked by elders and spiritual guards. Uche dropped to his knees and unwrapped the crown. "Forgive me, I was blind. I thought I could escape. I was wrong. You brought sorrow. You invited death. The spirits do not forgive easily, but you have returned it." Just then a messenger arrived. "Your father has passed." Uche collapsed. The final blow. He left the palace with the crown behind him, but everything else lost. That evening he walked alone until he reached the great river near the village. The water was calm, still. He stood there, staring at his reflection, a shadow of a man. "I have nothing left." And then he stepped in. The river took him, quietly, like a mother cradling her child. And so the story of Uche and the cursed crown lives on, whispered in village corners, told by elders around the fireside. A greedy person digs a pit not only for themselves, but for all who love them. Children, remember, what the spirits guard is not for human hands. Greed is a fire. It consumes not just the thief, but their home, their joy, and their future. If you've listened till the end, my dear friend, let this tale be your guide. Like the video, share it with others. Subscribe for more stories rooted in our land, our people, and the voices of our ancestors. Until next time, GZI can walk gently, for the spirits are always watching.